Hi, this is Rahman Shaik. Welcome to Fortnightly Railway Transportation Systems podcast. I am the host and railway systems specialist working in this industry for 24 years and counting. This podcast is primarily focused on railway experts who have vast amount of experience and contributed greatly to this amazing industry. This is not a technical seminar but focuses on feel good stories, individual journeys, their success and failures, motivating younger generation to kickstart their career in railways and creating a sense of pride for the railway people who devoted their lives on the most environment friendly public transportation. Our guest for this fortnight is Jahangir Shaik. He is Systems Assurance Manager working in the Middle East and worked on some great projects like Doha Metro, Riyadh Metro. Jahangir started his professional career in 1997 as a software engineer with a degree in mechanical engineering and worked on product development based on world-renowned systems scientist Mr. John N. Warfield's systems science. His professional journey with railway project kicked off in 2004 with ERTMS Level-2 Amsterdam-Utrecht. Since then, he has been working in rail systems in different capacities in various countries, obtaining several accreditations in his professional journey. He is honored to have contributed in the success of FIFA World Cup 2022 and celebrate the availability demonstration during the best football World Cup tournament of the century. Jahangir is a systems engineer at heart and understands the linkages between multiple systems and interfaces and enjoys working in multidisciplinary, multicultural work environments. Jahangir is a conversant with entire project lifecycle from project inceptions, requirements management through design, configuration management, testing and commissioning, RAMs, operation and maintenance, and obsolescence management. He shares his knowledge in the form of short videos on LinkedIn as a professional hobby. Hi, Jahangir. Welcome to Railway Transportation Systems Podcast.
Hi, Rahman. Many thanks for having me on your podcast. And I would like to sincerely appreciate you and your efforts for volunteering and taking time out to record podcasts which will inspire the young engineers.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jahangir. I appreciate that. So before I start, this is my generic question to everyone. Probably I'll change some words, but the intent is the same. Can you share with us your professional story, especially highlighting the railways?
Yes, in the beginning, actually, I started in 1997, as you rightly mentioned in the introduction, as a software engineer. The reason for starting off with the software engineering, of course, though I am a mechanical engineer, during my engineering days, I was with my friends in software engineering who are actually computer engineers. So because of that, I got interested into software engineering and I wanted to implement all the skills of software engineering on mechanical side. So the beginning, I started with, as you rightly mentioned, Mr. John N. Warfield's general systems theory and the system development based on the general systems theory, system science with Mr. G.S. Chandy, who was a system scientist. I was really blessed to started my career with Mr. G.S. Chandy working on the systems science product. So in the beginning, I wrote source code for on C++ language, on Visual C++ integrated development environment. And there was a bit of a difficult thing that time, but I could do that. And to build the problem solving product based on the interpretive structural modeling and field representation based on the transitive verb, which is contributes to. So these are a bit of technical terms in systems science, general systems theory and systems science. So these were the great learnings for me. So the learning during that point in time was double-sided. One is basically I was developing the world-class product as far as system science is concerned, point one, and I was learning the system science as well, which has become part of my life since then. So after that, I moved on to writing software programs on other domains and learned about software engineering, associated processes such as requirements management, configuration management, change management, quality control, and quality assurance. So release mechanism as well. So which actually helps me even today. So I got the opportunity to work on my first project on rail systems, as you rightly mentioned in the introduction, that ERTMS Level-2 project, which was basically Amsterdam and Utrecht and written by rail systems since then. So I evolved in systems engineering and systems assurance field and really enjoyed supporting various projects in multiple capacities on wayside as well as onboard systems. So I've taken the certification on IEC 61508 Functional Safety Engineer during the late 2000s, 2008-2009 timeframe, because I thought unless we get necessary certifications, it's really necessary to get the certifications to contribute towards the greater projects. I was part of systems team in UK, and I was a regular traveler to Chippenham as well as Derby. And the people who work in rail systems definitely know about those two railway towns in the UK. And I contributed cross-rail project before I moved to Middle East in 2014. And since 2014, I was working on multiple projects in Qatar, UAE, as well as Saudi Arabia. So a few of the projects I worked on is Education City People Mover Systems and Doha Metro Depot, Stabling Yard, Downtown Dubai trolley system in Dubai, major stations such as Musharraf station. This is the interchange stations where red, green and gold line interchange. And Education City station, which is close to the Education City Stadium. After this, I worked on a couple of years in Riyadh during the pandemic as engineer, reviewing all the systems assurance submissions and providing feedback and ensuring that the good quality and good safety products are being built. So in 2022, I moved to Doha back, and 2022 will remain as the most memorable year in my career because of the grand success of FIFA World Cup excitement.
Yeah, I know this 2022, your FIFA World Cup is the highlight of your career. And you touched many points. I appreciate that studying mechanical, getting into software engineering, writing codes, going deep down into the technical, and then you moved into safety, systems assurance, systems engineering, a lot of variations in your career. And of course, undoubtedly, you have got the complete knowledge of the project life cycle, the entire V&V cycle. Apart from this, your technical professional, the most important question I would like to ask you is, can you talk about FIFA World Cup, International Federation of Association Football, please?
This is an exciting question, and I really love this, and I can talk the complete day on it. But anyway, let me control myself and talk about a bit on this. FIFA World Cup will remain as the most memorable event, as I mentioned, of my life as a railway engineer as well, because we all work towards enhancing the excitement and celebration of the fans visited from around the world and with an anticipation to enjoy the World Cup. Whoever visited made ton of exciting memories and traveled home back full of exciting memories. Every football fan thoroughly enjoyed the World Cup Metro network and backed by world-class supporting team celebrating with fans. So the challenge was to transport millions of fans to 8 World Cup stadiums, and world witnessed how it could be done with a great honor. So I'm really excited that I was part of this particular team and part of the World Cup success story of 2022. And all the people, the fans, had really thrilling experience watching the matches, dancing, singing on every single metro station as well as tram stations. And they took us with them, and we were also dancing and singing. Though I'm engineer, system assurance, of course, engineer as manager working in the office premises, but we were out there and singing and dancing with the fans and supporting them wherever necessary, sending them towards the right stadiums which were built during the last 15-20 years. So it's a great exciting experience altogether at the World Cup, and it is still fresh in my memory, World Cup final, and we still rejoice wherever we meet.
You will remind this for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Even though I did not witness live at Qatar, but yeah, I can see that it's a great experience for the football fans. I believe I was watching it on TV, and yeah, it would be a great, memorable experience to everyone who visited Qatar and who witnessed FIFA World Cup. Apart from the excitement of real football, we as a railway people, can you share some statistics from FIFA World Cup covering railways?
Surely, there are 76 kilometers of track, Doha Metro track, with 37 world-class metro stations, including 2 major interchanges. Rolling stock operated 21 hours a day during the matches, with headway of 165 seconds. So this was really exciting, and we were trying the established system for the best of its abilities and best of the possibility. So we could achieve this 165 seconds headway, and also supported by the tram network with 28 trams. So the ridership during the tournament was 18 plus millions. So this was the exciting number which we could achieve and without any issues during the World Cup. So 18 plus million people have traveled, and everybody is satisfied with the traveling experience on the Doha Metro network, and the social media is the live proof of that excitement and thrilling experience what the travelers have achieved.
Wow, what an amazing project, especially when it comes to your contribution in the FIFA World Cup. And what process have you followed for this extraordinary metro network demonstration during the World Cup, Jahangir?
Yes, that's a great question. And in fact, I was in Doha since 2014, and I've contributed in multiple railway projects. In the biggest satisfaction for me is working on the gigantic metro interchange station from the construction stage onwards. So till the FIFA fans, from the construction stage onwards till the FIFA fans singing and dancing in the multiple levels of the stations. That's one of the greatest achievement of my experience, point one. And my contribution, of course, point two. And during the FIFA, many maintenance activities have been actually risk assessed and brought forward, ensuring the safe operations during the FIFA. And I would recommend the listeners to take a look at the videos available on RKH Qatar on LinkedIn, where maintenance director Mr. John Taylor spoke about the preventive maintenance activities we have performed and the corrective maintenance activities we planned and the assessment we done prior to the World Cup, and the simulations we have performed prior to the World Cup are being talked in detail by these gentlemen, and my colleagues Mr. Aslam as well as Mr. Nadim also explain it to the greater detail. So I would recommend the listeners of your podcast take a listen to these and take a look at the videos available, and as well as it is the commitment of the Qatar rail leadership that worked wonders, and for the operations and maintenance specifically for RKH Qatar under the able leadership of Mr. Kevin Thomas as well as Mr. Len Baldwin are the names that will remain in good books of the history for the FIFA World Cup 2022. As we know, safety is everybody's responsibility. I believed that everyone in Qatar aspired and worked around the clock for the success of the FIFA World Cup, and we all enjoy the success now. And as I spoke about it in the beginning also, I can speak about it whole day. And if anybody wants really more details about it, and I can be contacted on LinkedIn, and then I can share the great success stories, because I was there every single day on the field, meeting so many fans, working with the maintenance engineers and as well as the teams who joined us to make this World Cup success from around the world. And I can go on and on, but I believe let's go.
I can see how vivid and how intense your experience might have been. I should say you're truly blessed to work on such a high-tech and high-focused project by the rest of the world.
Certainly.
The most common question from the rest of the world is, because I heard quite a lot about this question, what's next for the stadiums and what's next for the metro, because they have built especially all the stadiums and metro and trams to give assistance for the football World Cup and the FIFA fans who are traveling there, especially to cover the tourists. So what's next? How are they going to use the stadiums and metro?
Indeed, this is a very popular question, and I would want to introduce one person here. And also I have taken these details from the website called iloveqatar.net. Is by one of the young entrepreneur from Qatar, Mr. Khalifa Saleh Al Harun, and he is known by Mr. Q, your friendly neighborhood Qatari. So he's a very nice young man who's a blogger and a nice entrepreneur, and who's been celebrated in multiple social media platforms. So the list of stadiums that were built are Anjanoub Stadium, Lusail Stadium, Stadium 974. I'll talk about Stadium 974 in a bit, and Education City Stadium. And this is very close to my heart, Education City Stadium, because the two railway projects of Qatar, which is the Education City People Mover System and as well as the Education City Doha Metro Station as well. I have worked on these two railway networks. And in fact, I wrote final safety cases of Education City Stadium Station as well as Sherib Major Interchange Station. And of course, I am bringing additional information in here. But next stadium is Al Bayt Stadium, where the World Cup started, and the whole world has witnessed the great opening ceremony in Al Bayt Stadium and Khalifa International Stadium, which is always there. And since the Asian Games during 2003-2004 time frame, the stadium was there, and Ahmad bin Ali Stadium and Al Tumama Stadium. So these are the 8 stadiums that were used for the World Cup, and you may not believe, but 4 matches per day were conducted during this time. So just imagine the kind of pressure we have on the network, and we never heard any kind of negative feedback from any traveler. The reason being, everything has been risk assess point 1, and also as the simulations were also done in the beginning, we were ready with the big teams on station as well as in the control rooms as well as in the O&M control rooms as well. So again, I'm digressing a bit, but let's talk about the stadiums here. So 8 stadiums: Al Janub Stadium, Lusail Stadium, Stadium 974, Education City Stadium, Al Bayt Stadium, Khalifa International Stadium, and Ahmad bin Ali Stadium, as well as Al Tumama Stadium. So Stadium 974 is the special stadium. The reason being, this is a makeshift stadium. 974 containers were used in this stadium. So in few months time, this stadium will not be existing, and that location will be developed as the recreational place for the people who visit. And majority of the stadiums are going to be converted into other facilities like, for example, the sports complexes and the visitors complexes and schools and housing and shops and cafes and health clinics. And the Qatari leadership look ahead really, really well. And they have planned this everything in advance, like after the World Cup, except for the Stadium 974, as I directly mentioned that it's not going to existing. But stadiums will be converted into unique community hub schools, and majority of the chairs will be contributed and handed over to the other countries in the region for them to develop the sports complexes and sports facilities within the region.
Then how about the metro and trams? Are they gonna be operational, and will they be in revenue service?
Yes, absolutely. The metro, the world-class metro which we have built, is definitely operational and attracts the tourists as well as the locals on a day-to-day basis. Because as we know, if you visited Qatar before, or maybe you must have seen from the social media platforms, that the number of cars are huge, and huge cars are loved in this country. So we may not have a traffic problem, but then sustainability is the key moving ahead. So majority of the travelers would want to definitely use the metro facility as well as tram facility, because the times taken and the facilities available are really world class, and the passengers of Doha really enjoy traveling in the metro facilities.
By the sounds of it, it looks like a success story. But I know behind every great project delivered, there's a lots of planning involved. So my question is about failures. How did you guys manage the probable failures? All this mean time between failures or mean time to rectify, all these values we get from the data sheets of a product or a system. But this is a brand new railway,
Yes.
and you did not have a real-time data with you. How did you plan to face this?
It's a great question, actually. But as some insurance agents, always have to speak about that. And it's not a good thing to speak about, but, as insurance agents, they do have to speak about that. So similarly, as a systems engineer, systems assurance engineers, a systems assurance department, we don't like the failures, but we definitely have to speak about failures. And this is one thing which is a part of the DNA of any system engineer, or specifically mine, of course, that we don't want to have any kind of a failure during the operation. And because it is not a comfortable option for any kind of a traveler, that if somebody is really visiting one particular station, Doha Metro station or a tram station, they don't want to hear, or anybody for the matter of fact, even I don't want to hear that the train is delayed or train is becoming late or whatever. So this is part of my job, and what we have done is because as part of the development of during the DNB stage onwards, I was part of this. So we have done the detailed study and ensure that all the hazards are being identified, risk assessed, and all the failures are studied through, and ensure that all the control measures are in place. Point one, and also ensure that the teams were deployed in advance, and all the probable locations there could be a possibility of failure. We would want to curb the possibility of failure and ensure that there is no failure at all. Point one. And point two, all the preventive maintenance and corrective maintenance activities were well planned, and all the teams were deployed into the key locations, and ensure that the teams are always ready and available for any corrective maintenance activity. Point one. And a majority of the preventive maintenance activities were risk assessed well ahead of the World Cup season, and majority of the PM activities were brought forward and ensured that during the time frame, because we didn't have much of engineering hours during the World Cup, because we were running 21 hours of operation, and then of course in fact extending beyond 21 hours also, because as I was mentioning in the beginning, that 18 plus million people were traveling and in total, and we had always people coming in, travelers coming in, wanted to use the facility. So we ensured that all the preventive maintenance activities have been brought forward, risk assessed, and some that could be postponed, and we had for the corrective maintenance activities, we had the teams ready, deployed on key locations, and ensured that we were delivering the world-class metro network during the World Cup. And thank God, God was with us, and we could successfully deliver complete network without any failure. And I am proud that we have delivered 99.95% availability during the World Cup.
You did. It's an amazing job. Job well done, mate.
Thank you so
I
much.
think it's a great planning and a process well in place. Apart from these technical issues and all those things we discussed so far, I think leadership plays a key role as well. So from your team, what they think, what sort of a leader would your team say you are?
I always believed, and I have always been lucky to have leaders who always led by example. So that is a leadership style I always like. And if you ask any of my colleagues who worked with me in the past, maybe my team who are currently working on now, is that my leadership style is basically I'm a friendly guy, and sometimes I boast about my sense of humor, so that's my nature. I always want to have fun within the team. It's always a fun environment. Though we are working on a very key aspects of the project, or key aspects of the O&M of activities, but we always make sure that I made the overall environment fun. Because what actually happens is, I have had few bitter experience that somebody is really hovering around your head to get the job done. It's not really a good feeling. But then if somebody is working with you, getting hands dirty, and working with you is always fun, and then the ideas flow like great stream of very pure water. That's what I believe in, and that's what I always practice. And anybody who's working with me, always have my door open, and anybody walks up, and we get a very friendly conversation. And that's how we build in, and that's how we deliver a great deliveries all the time.
Yeah, even I agree with you, Jahangir. I'm completely against that micromanagement you just spoke about. And also humor. Humor is a key ingredient in leadership. And I have seen you very active on social media, and you have a great sense of humor. You made me giggle a couple of times. And when we go back to work, what I have seen in your profile is you worked in several companies and multiple countries. When it comes to innovation and when you generate great ideas for your organization,
Surely.
did you get enough support from your projects in Middle East region? And how is the innovation technology works in the Middle East?
This is a great question, and of course, many people ask me this question, and people feel that Middle East is kind of people may not be open to the innovations, people may not be open to the new things, but in contrary to what people think, Middle East is where you get all the latest and greatest in working condition. I mean, let me start with the ball that was used for the FIFA World Cup. That was the most innovative ball that was used for the FIFA World Cup, and it was charged. You must have seen a few blog posts and website from the websites that the ball that was used was being charged prior to the World Cup. It had the GPS technology, and majority of the latest and greatest technologies built into that particular ball was then used for the after the match assessments. So I just started from there, and then you see all the may it be the transportation industry, may it be the vehicles that are being used in the Middle East, or the latest and greatest, and the systems that are being used in Middle East are like for example, I would refer back to the verification and validation. To the extent we used is, if I pick up a single requirement that can be verified and validated through the testing and commissioning evidence from the complete life cycle listed down in the EN 50126. So this is what is the basic dream of any system engineer, or for that matter any engineer who would want to really develop something and then see his work being used by the people, used by the communities, to which as an engineer, the greatest success as an engineer is to see something which you built, which you contributed and built, and then community is using that for their benefit. That gives you greatest kick. And definitely Middle East is the way. Middle East is the location where you get to see all the latest and greatest technologies, facilities, and the systems, social media, whatever you name it, is being used, and used for the better and for sustainability as well in this region.
Beautiful. So what I hear from you is Middle East actually takes the ideas of its employees, encourages them, and invest in that ideas.
Absolutely.
And make sure that they come into use.
That's
Brilliant, right? So it was a great pleasure talking to you, especially about the FIFA World Cup. Before I let you go, Jahangir, can you give us your valuable advice to the newcomers into the industry?
Yeah, basically I've almost completed about 25 years working in various parts of the world, by and large, Australia, majority India, of course, as an Indian. I've contributed many projects in India as well as in the Europe, because rail systems, as you know, are prominent in Europe as well. My learnings, I would say, is that keep on learning and then make yourself available for the learnings. And what I share with the new engineers who would want to come into our railway industry, this is a fantastic industry. Point one, you will get excited every single day working on the railway industry, and especially for the railway system, it's an exciting thing, and it keeps you always busy and mind always busy, and you would really find is exciting. Point one. And point two is the learnings you will get from the railway industry is really exciting. And what I suggest, or the engineers who would want to come into this industry, is to make yourself available. Point one, make yourself always on a listening mode, and ensure that you listen from every single senior you work with, and then work on an exciting projects and become the successors of the transportation industry.
Yeah, what a great advice, Jahangir. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your insights, especially with all those statistics you gave about the World Cup, the metro rail of Qatar, and stadiums. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. And as you rightly mentioned, I am always available on the LinkedIn specifically, where I share my little ideas how to improve, or maybe sharing some of my experiences with the young engineers, so that they wouldn't take long time, in the beginning, because, I'm from the generation where I have seen internet coming into existence. I have seen mobile networks coming into existence, and then now we are using that to the fullest extent, where at a different time zones, you are sitting in Australia in a different time zone, I am sitting in a different time zone in Middle East, and we could use this fantastic facilities IT facilities available
Great.
for our team. And a caution towards the end is cyber security, which is a new trend, and we'll have to always ensure that we are cyber secure whatever we share on the internet. And
Correct.
I really appreciate again you taking time out, because I know we are all family men and we have commitments from family, commitments from work, and apart from this we are taking time out and to do something for the new generation that is going to come into our field because of the love for the work which we do and the love for the rail systems. Of course, we want to share this experience with the young ones, and you putting in your time and I'm putting in my time. So I believe at least if it excites and encourages at least a few engineers in the coming times, I would believe that we will enjoy this, and we will consider this as a success of our volunteering.
I agree, completely agree. That is the whole motive of this podcast. Thanks, Jahangir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I believe everyone listening to this podcast has got something to take away from today's discussion. If you like this podcast, please listen, follow, and share this podcast within your network. If you believe we should be sharing your story or someone within your network, there is a railway leader who should be here sharing his or her contribution to this industry, contact me on railway transportation systems at gmail.com. Thank you for your time today. See you next fortnight. Until then, stay safe and take care of yourself.